Think about a Downton Abbey horror film, and that's basically what The Invitation is. Now, to start, and I really don't want to stay too long on this film because I fucking hated this film, but going into The Invitation, I saw one trailer, and it seemed like a very copy paste Get Out. And that's essentially what it is. The only difference is there's nothing witty or clever or anything in The Invitation. Now, Get Out had funny racist humor. The Invitation has wannabe racist humor. And I figured that was going to be a problem with this film before going into it. And then there was an intro where it showed before the main character was terrorized, it was actually a white girl before her. And so I thought to myself at the end of the intro, oh, okay, well, at least it's not gonna be a story where it's a white family targeting a black woman. And then we get into it, and not even 5 minutes after the intro, we get a bunch of stupid anti-white racist jokes, literally the jokes being all white boyfriends are garbage. Not word for word, but that's implied strongly. And then throughout the film, the performances, mostly from the white family, are I don't know if they were like intentionally performed this way, but every performance by every white person was just so cringe, so bad. Like, I don't mean bad, I just mean like I don't know, some form of bad acting that it was cringe. I don't know how to explain it. It was just really off-putting acting. And we'll leave it at that. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, I hope I'm correct, the main character and actress, Natalie Emmanuel or whatever her name is, I'm pretty sure she was Missandei from Game of Thrones. Or at least she looks a hell of a lot like her. And in that case, I really like that actress because I loved Game of Thrones. Notice I said loved. I used to love Game of Thrones. I hated the last 2 seasons. Anyway, her acting was fine. It was everybody else's acting. It was just super cringy. And I'll leave it at that for the acting. Now, this film sets up a third act where every violent spectacle that they could have imagined was supposed to be in the third act. The problem is that the third act had probably the most visual effects in this film, and it just took a giant dog shit on the film, and just the visual effects in the whole third act are just awful. Speaking of visual effects, the horror aesthetics are just super pretentious and cliche. Every single horror sequence is exactly that. It's cliche. And it's so cliche, it's pretentious. This film is just utterly pretentious. Nothing about this is clever or witty. It's just all filled with pretension. Cliche, predictable pretension. It thinks it's all of the above for the goods, like clever, witty, the next Get Out, kind of. It's not. Everything about The Invitation is so been there, done that in every way, shape, or form. At least in Get Out, its witty dialogue wasn't so in your face. It was mildly in your face. Like, I remember the scene in Get Out when they're speaking on the front porch and the dad just randomly is like, I voted for Obama. Like, that's just funny. It doesn't have to be witty or clever. It's just funny because it's just a stereotype in writing and it's just funny. Whereas in The Invitation, like I said, the white boyfriends thing, they run that through to death through this whole film. This film's not exactly racistly written. It's just portrayed as if every white person is awful. But the writing isn't constantly racist against white people like the likes of Candyman or, dare I say it, even the new Lightyear film. So like I said, I don't want to stay too long on the subject of this film because this film is awful. I hated this film. Overall, by the midway point of this film, I was thinking 5, 6, and then the third act just completely shit on its own film. And I'm going to have to give The Invitation a 2 out of 10. Don't bother seeing this film. It's horrible. It's nothing but filled with pretension and pretentious ideas, pretentious writing. You can tell they think they're being clever in this film, and nothing is clever about this film whatsoever. And I'm not getting into the story or the plot because it's already so cliche and predictable. I don't want to spoil it myself. It'll spoil itself for you. You'll be able to guess everything just right at the beginning. I would say after the intro, because the intro presents itself in a way where you just expect everything to happen as it goes on. And that I get intros are supposed to be made kind of for that. The problem is the intro just gives away so much of how the film is going to go down. Look, Get Out is a pretty good example for racist writing done well. Another excellent example for how to write a film that has racist writing in it and works actually properly and well, Django Unchained. It broke stereotypes. It actually utilized a story of a black slave breaking free and not only beating up white slavers, but also teaming up with, I forget, it's been so long since I've watched it. I know the actor is German, but I can't remember if in the film, his character was white, just white, or white German dentist. But, they team up and they go after white slavers. That is racist writing done well. I also love Quentin Tarantino, so there's also that. I'm a little biased for him. But yes, anyway, The Invitation, don't watch it. If you want any kind of well-done racist film against white people, Django Unchained, Get Out is pretty good. Us is even better than Get Out, in my opinion. Those are really the only recommendations I have when it comes to racist writing, because I personally don't really like racist writing, but whenever it happens, as long as it's done well, like historical accuracy kind of well, then I'm okay with that. But The Invitation, 2 out of 10. Thank you.